my brother Matt. My name is Nick Jackson, and you are watching the No Gimmicks podcast.
Well, you're listening to the No Gimmicks.
Well, you're listening.
It's a podcast. You listen to it.
Yeah, you get the point. Too sweet, man. Boom.
Too sweet, baby. Yeah. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Tass here once again with yet another episode of the No Gimmicks podcast alongside my tag team partner Dale Clifford out there in Fernley, Nevada. This is our first on-camera edition of the No Gimmicks podcast. So, Dale, what's good, my man?
What is up, Todd? Yeah, it's the first one where we're together on camera at the same time.
Yes.
Obviously, we have done other on-camera episodes before, but this is the very first one where we're going to be on camera at the very same time. So excited to get started on this one, and we're going to do a little bit of predictions for Ring of Honor's War of the Worlds, the New York City pay-per-view. So let's go ahead and get started and tell us what the very first match is, Todd.
All right, so at the top of the card here, we got Bobby Fish taking on Dalton Castle versus Kishida versus Silas Young. So in this one here, I'm favoring Silas Young. I think Silas Young has been picking up some momentum as of late, and I'm just kind of looking here. You know, Bobby Fish has kind of gotten lost in the shuffle, it seems a bit, since Kyle O'Reilly has seemed to have moved on from Ring of Honor Wrestling. Also, you know, Kishida, he kind of comes stateside every once in a while, but primarily he wrestles over there in Japan. And in Dalton Castle, you know, even though the crowd's behind him and whatnot, it just seems like they're just not quite ready, you know, to kind of push him up to that next level yet. What's your thoughts on that, Dale?
Yeah, I can kind of see that. I look at this one as obviously we have some New Japan pro wrestlers taking place in this one because that's kind of what the War of the Worlds is. It's ROH versus New Japan in some shapes. Not every match means that, but it's the intermingling of both promotions. So Kishida could be a sleeper here because you figure there has to be some New Japan guys that come over to this pay-per-view and win. Otherwise, you don't leave much suspense to the matches. But I definitely like Silas Young here. I like the Last Real Man just because I think he's been gaining momentum lately. He hasn't been able to find a third tag team partner for him and Beer City Bruiser for the six-man tag team championships. Mm-hmm. But I think as a singles person, he has a chance to move forward, and I think he will here with a win.
All right, now. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next match. We have the Heavy Metal Rebel Kaz taking on Hangman Adam Page. Dale, what's your thoughts on this one?
Oh, give me Kaz 100% here. I know that Hangman Page has kind of been working as a henchman for the Bullet Club, but I also feel like he's one of the low-level Bullet Club members. He doesn't have kind of the win percentage that you got the Young Bucks or Adam Cole or some of the Japanese guys like Kenny Omega. They're racking up wins under the Bullet Club. Hangman Page, I think, kind of, again, is working as a henchman, and I don't really think he's going to go over here. He's a part of the Bullet Club, but he's not picking up the wins. I think they're going to move forward with Kaz trying to gain some momentum. Obviously, Christopher Daniels is his tag team partner, just became Ring of Honor World Champion, and I think they're now going to try to give Kaz some type of push for all of the years and work he put in. So I think he's going to win here.
Yeah, basically for the same reasons which you just stated. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. I'm going to go with Kaz as well. Definitely, you know, comparisons between the Bullet Club kind of being almost like the modern day equivalent of the NWO, and Hangman Page is definitely a part of the B squad for the Bullet Club. So yeah, he's not racking up very many wins. He's kind of just, you know, doing the dirty work for the group. Maybe that might change at some point in time, but for this match here, for now, I'm going to stick with Kaz to win. So moving on, in our next match here from War of the Worlds, we have Los Ingobernables de Japan. We got Evil and Sonata representing that group, taking on Search and Destroy, Chris Sabin and Jonathan Gresham versus War Machine, Hanson and Rowe. Dale, who you got in this triple threat here?
Oh, here's another one. Obviously, you've got all three portions here. You've got a New Japan tag team, and then you've got a Ring of Honor tag team. So, and then you've got this group in Search and Destroy that's kind of trying to act as in a group that's trying to build itself to take on New Japan, or not New Japan, Bullet Club and Ring of Honor.
Right.
So you would kind of like to see them gain momentum, because the more momentum they gain, the more believable you think that they can be a force to take down the Bullet Club. So I kind of like, you know what? I think I'm gonna pick Gresham and Chris Sabin here. I just like that they need to gain momentum. Originally, I had wanted to go with War Machine, but they really haven't been seen much. They are the current IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, so maybe they could be an outside chance to win here. But I think Search and Destroy needs to pick up some momentum as they try to take down Bullet Club.
Yeah, so far we pretty much have been on the same page here, Dale. Basically, for the same exact reasons that you just stated, I don't see Los Ingobernables coming stateside very often here. Search and Destroy, you know, they're the most prominently featured ROH tag team out of the three here. And War Machine, yeah, they're definitely going to be busy over there in Japan defending the IWGP tag title. So, yeah, I'm going with Search and Destroy as well. All right, so coming up in this next match here, we've got Jay White, who's been in the wrestling game for about 4 years, taking on Will Ospreay, who's got about 1 more year of experience, the aerial assassin Will Ospreay, that is. Dale, who do you look to come out on top in this one?
This is a tough one. You got two young guys going at it here. Obviously, you stated like one's been in for 4 years, one's been in it for 5. So just kind of getting started, but they've already made pretty good names for themselves in the wrestling community to kind of make it this far to Ring of Honor already. This far into their careers is a big accomplishment for both of them. Jay doesn't have very many losses in his Ring of Honor record right now. That's one of the things that's been building him as he moves up the ladder of Ring of Honor. And then Will was Ring of Honor World TV Champion, so he's actually even accomplished more in less time in Ring of Honor, but we still haven't seen him as much as Jay White. So I think that Will Ospreay obviously did just in a tag team match did just recently beat Jay White, so that kind of could play in here, and you might think that Jay's might go over here because of that. I still think Will needs to get some TV ROH wins, and this would be a good way to get that done. And because Jay's got that low loss record in Ring of Honor, this would be a big win for Will to get it because it's a pay-per-view. You've got the low loss record for Jay White. I'm going to go Will Ospreay. But I also want to say is like, again, as our top match breakdowns always say, if your name begins with J in Ring of Honor, you're probably going to be a top match candidate. I think this one's going to be there. Might be kind of a spot fest match because that is obviously the style that Will Ospreay wrestles in. But that also is what the current wrestling fan kind of likes, is what he brings. And I just think Will's going to take this one.
All right, so I'm actually going to go the opposite of you here. As you have referenced their match at the recent Supercard of Honor pay-per-view, yes, it was Will Ospreay, and I want to say it was Volador Jr. taking on Dragon Lee and Jay White. And, yeah, Will Ospreay's team came out on top there. I look for Jay White to get a little bit of get back here in this one. I think he's going to come out on top and kind of even things up a little bit. And, you know, I definitely would like to see a long-running feud between these two young, you know, fierce competitors over there in ROH. So moving on here to our next match from World of Worlds, we've got Adam Cole, baby, taking on Hiroshi Tanahashi from New Japan. Dale, what's your thoughts on this one?
Oh, this one is very tough because, as we've discussed in numerous things, we don't know the complete status of Adam Cole and Ring of Honor. I do think, though, that his days are numbered, so that's going to make me feel like Tanahashi's going to win here. Typically, the way Ring of Honor works it is like if your contract is ending, is like you're going to kind of go out taking the defeat. We saw it with Kyle O'Reilly. He beat Adam Cole to become ROH World Champion, and then a month later, his contract ended, and he lost the championship back to Adam Cole. It's like ROH doesn't like if your contract is ending with them, it's like for you to leave on a high note. So we don't know the status of Adam Cole, and because of that, I'm going to pick a Tanahashi to win here.
Yeah, for basically the same reasons. I'm on the same page with you here. You know, Adam Cole, I enjoy watching you in the ring, man. I got nothing but love for the Bullet Club. But, yeah, you're taking an L on this one. It seems that there's some interest, I think, from both WWE, especially from NXT, for him to come in. And we also heard that they might possibly be bringing in Kyle O'Reilly. So if that were to happen, that feud continues over there in NXT. There's also some possible interest from New Japan for Adam Cole. I had heard, and that he would go on the feud with Kenny Omega over the leadership position for the Bullet Club. So yeah, I look for the vet Hiroshi Tanahashi to come up on top on this one here. So next we got a 6-man tag. We got Bully Ray and the Briscoes taking on Chaos. We got Beretta, Hiroki Goto, and Rocky Romero. And this is for the ROH 6-man tag championships. Dale, who you got?
I think Bully and the Briscoes are going to retain. Now, obviously, they became 6-man tag team champions off of the injury to TK O'Ryan. So I don't really know how long the Kingdom was kind of in the plans to stay ROH 6-man tag team champions. But because of that, I think that now ROH needs to still trying to build up a strong 6-man tag team champion. We've now got that with Bully and the Briscoes, and why not with Bully Ray and the Briscoes? Bully Ray and Devon, one of the greatest tag teams of all time, and then obviously the Briscoes are probably the greatest ROH tag team of all time. So you combine their forces. They're now 6-man tag team champions, and I think their run is going to continue.
Dale, I respectfully disagree with you. I'm going to actually throw a curveball with you here because we've been agreeing the majority of the time. But if we take a look at our, at our predictions so far here, basically we have not given a win to New Japan yet. I'm going to predict something crazy here. I look for Chaos to go over. The way things, went down, it was really unfortunate. I believe it was at the ROH 15th anniversary show where TK O'Ryan got injured, right? And then I want to say it was like maybe later on that weekend that Bully Ray and the Briscoes, they wound up tagging up against 2 members of the Kingdom alongside Silas Young, and they captured the titles. I look for Chaos to get the win here, and I look for them to kind of hold on to the belts for a while. I'm not sure how much longer TK O'Ryan is going to be absent for, but those guys had a lot of good momentum going, prior to his injury. And I think Chaos taking on them, that can make for an interesting feud. So for that reason alone, like I said, I know it's a little bit different than what I thought previously, but I'm going to go with Chaos to win this one here. So moving on, we've got Los Ingobernables de Japan taking on the Young Bucks for the ROH World Tag Team Championships. Dale, we got?
Oh, I think the Young Bucks, they're the best thing going right now. Obviously they just came off of beating the Hardys. They've got great momentum. I think that's just it's going to continue. I don't see it going any other way than Matt and Nick Jackson retaining the ROH World Tag Team Championships and moving on.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to go against the Young Bucks, isn't it? I mean, hey, let's look at the facts here. I got the opportunity to meet the guys over there in New York at Manhattan Mayhem 6 back in March. They were cool enough to actually provide us with an endorsement, which is at the top of the No Gimmicks podcast. Yeah, I just do not believe that the Young Bucks, who just recently recaptured the ROH Tag Team Championships, are going to drop them here at War of the World. So yeah, I look for them to continue on their reign as one of the top tag teams, not only in Ring of Honor, but also in professional wrestling as a whole. So yeah, I got Matt and Nick to go over in this one because it's just too sweet. So moving on here, we've got the villain Marty Scurll taking on Matt Sidell, a returning Matt Sidell for the ROH World Television Championship. Who you got in these two, between these two, Dale?
Oh, this one is a tough. Well, I won't say it's pretty tough. It's like I think it's going to be the villain Marty Scurll. His reign right now as ROH TV champion is awesome. I love it.
Yes.
It's like becoming a huge fan of this guy. And really, we don't know where Matt Sidell is. Is he an Impact Wrestling guy or is he a Ring of Honor guy? Because he kind of returned to Ring of Honor and debuted on Impact Wrestling in the same stinking week. So I don't know. Because that kind of sways me as making it Marty Scurll. But then again, it's like you've got the conflict of not knowing what show Sidell is on, that maybe he might steal victory here and become a ROH TV champion, and ROH might run with him for a little bit. But then that kind of makes me feel like he's just going to be a transitional guy, and I'm not a big fan of transitional champions. I like if a champion's going to be a champion, let him be a champion for a while. Marty Scurll's been a champion. Let this reign keep going, and then maybe at some point at a much bigger ROH pay-per-view, he goes down.
Yeah, Matt Sidell kind of pulled a ravishing Rick Rude on us. I'm not sure if you're kind of familiar with that reference, but I think it was back around probably around 97 or so when Rick Rude appeared on Raw. He appeared on ECW television and WCW all within the same week. Matter of fact, I think he might even appeared on Raw and WCW Nitro on the same night because of the way that things, were going back then with tape delays and stuff. So yeah, we saw a similar thing here occur with Matt Sidell. I'm very glad to see him back in ROH. I'm not sure if he's going to capture the TV title on this evening, though. I think Marty Scurll has got the fans behind him. It's weird because he's, such a strong heel, yet the crowd is really behind him. So I look for him to keep that momentum going and keep the ROH TV title. If by some chance, it is going to be a more long-term thing, yeah, I'd like to see these two feud for a little bit and see him pick up the victory, capture the strap, maybe like you said, a little bit later on in a bigger show. So moving on here to our main event, we have got Cody, the American Nightmare, taking on Jay Lethal and the almighty Christopher Daniels for the ROH World Heavyweight Championship. Dale, who do you have being victorious in the main event of War of the Worlds?
All right. Well, my thoughts on the winner kind of tie into Adam Cole. Since I believe Adam Cole is leaving, the Bullet Club needs a stateside leader. And lo and behold, in the main event for the ROH World Championship, here you got a member of the Bullet Club, the All-American Nightmare, Cody. We'll call him Cody Rhodes, even though he is only officially Cody. Cody Rhodes is I believe, going to win the ROH World Championship. Huge win for him in his career. He's done an excellent job of building his self up after leaving WWE. Another guy who's left WWE on a down note and risen back up, and maybe at some point, like Drew McIntyre has returned, Cody might find his way back into a WWE. But right now, he's the American Nightmare, member of the Bullet Club. I think he's going to become leader of the Bullet Club for the stateside, and this is a perfect way to do it. Capture the ROH World Championship at War of the Worlds. Unfortunately, that means Christopher Daniels' title run has to come to an end. I like that he finally got the championship, but I think it's Cody's time now.
Yeah, let's face the facts here. I'm going to do a quick analysis. So I actually had the opportunity to run into Christopher Daniels at Manhattan Mayhem Sits, back there in March, and I was rooting for this guy. Seemed like a cool guy and whatnot. Has been in the business for a long time. I almost want to look at this almost like as a lifetime achievement award. This recent world title reign that he's had. But I just don't think they had any plans of keeping the belt on him for a long period of time. So transitioning to the man who did hold the ROH World Heavyweight title for a very long time, that being Jay Lethal. Him coming off of such a long run, I don't look for him to recapture it right now. And for all the reasons which you stated, Dale, yes, it is Cody's time. It's time for him to take over as ROH World Heavyweight Champion, also become the leader of the Bullet Club stateside, replacing Adam Cole. And yes, this guy has came a long way. Look where he was in WWE a couple years ago. Dashing Cody Rhodes, the guy who was wearing the mask or whatever, that crazy gimmick he had going on. Then he was Stardust. He just couldn't seem to find his own identity. Now they finally let this guy be himself. And look at him. The guy has really, just emerged as one of the top talents, not just, stateside, I'd say, in the professional wrestling business as a whole. So, yeah, Cody's going over here. I look for him to capture the ROH title in his first reign. So, Dale and I could sit here and discuss ROH New Japan War of the Worlds all night long, but unfortunately we can't. We've come to the end of this episode, so thank you for joining us for our first on-cam edition of the No Gimmicks podcast together with Dale and I. So please tune in next time to our next episode of the No Gimmicks podcast. We are no gimmicks, no image, all wrestling all the time.
Please subscribe to our official YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/the No Gimmicks podcast. Please make sure that you subscribe publicly so that way we are aware of your support. Check out Craig Perkins' articles on ProWrestling.com. We would like to hear from our viewers, so please leave us some feedback in our comment section. Also, please like our Facebook and follow us on Twitter at the No Gimmicks PC. Remember, sharing is caring. Feel free to share the links to our episodes with other pro wrestling fans on your social media accounts as well. That does it for this episode of No Gimmicks Podcast. For my tag team partner Dale Clifford in Fernley, Nevada, this is Todd Smith in Bristol, Connecticut signing off. Until next time around, y'all take care.